Hi, welcome back to trying new things. So, on today's video, I'll be talking about 4 tips for shoe beginners. And when I say shoe beginners, I mean heels in particular, but this can be applied to other shoes like flats as well. And these are tips from my own experience, from my love for shoes and my experience really from buying shoes. My number one tip will be before you start buying shoes online or you buy a shoe online, try shoes in store first. Get to know your size in shoes because that helps a great deal. Before I ever started buying shoes online, I always bought them in store. I never believed in buying shoe online because I was like, oh, it's not going to be my size and I don't like the hassle of having to return. However, trying shoes in store really helps. Yes, you can buy 2 sizes online and return one at the end of the day. But believe you me, if you go to the store, get a good essay that knows about shoes, that is not just somebody that is there to sell the shoe, but it's a sales associate that knows more about that a shoe is beautiful on the display doesn't mean it's going to be beautiful on your feet. So that knows more about the shoe, the fit aesthetics, and how this kind of fit works for this shoe and things like that. It will really help and will tell you, okay, maybe on a high heel, which height to go for and things like that, the ones you feel comfortable with. And by the time because one thing I've realized as well is, for example, you could go in to try in each brand, different shoes in that brand could fit differently. So you go to buy, say, an Aquazura shoe. Different shoes in an Aquazura might not all be the same size. I could be like a 39, but I don't wear a 39 in all my shoes. Some shoes are 38 and a half, some are 38, some are 39, and some are 39 and a half. And these are all different style of shoes. They're all the classic pumps, but then in different brands, they're different sizes. So that is why it's good to try it out and be sure. Because if you buy it online, you try it on, it fits you in the house, good. But as time goes on, if it's not your real size, it's going to get looser on you. It's going to get loose, and by then it's not really a good fit anymore. How do you know a shoe that fits you well? It has to be, which gives me to my next point, the number 2 point. A shoe that fits snug. The more snug a shoe is on you, the better it will be in the long run. Yes, some people might buy a loose fitting shoe for maybe the immediate comfort at that time. However, in the long run, in a year's time, 2 years time, whatever, that shoe is going to become so loose that it's going to become uncomfortable to wear. But if it's as snug as possible right now, as time goes on, shoes stretch, and by the time it stretches out, it ends up fitting you even much better. Therefore, you're more likely to have your shoe for a very long time versus having it for a year or two and then it's like, oh, it's now too loose for you to wear. The fourth thing is, for a beginner that has never worn heels before, do not go and buy a 120 millimeter high heel shoe because that is just a recipe for disaster. Because yes, I've seen where people like, oh yeah, for example, Christian Louboutin shoes, he has a sole kit that is 120 millimeter. It's really high. There's someone that has never worn heels. You walk into the store, it's a very beautiful, sexy shoe, but there is no point buying a shoe that feels comfortable in store, but outside of the store, it doesn't. Because bear in mind that the stores are all carpeted, therefore, it's more likely to feel very comfortable anyways. By the time you now leave the store, it doesn't feel as comfortable. So go for a heel height that is like 85 millimeter or 100 millimeters. You can start with those. 85 millimeter will be the best. Then from 85 millimeter, you go up to 100 and before you get to 120, if you ever want to get to 120. So basically, slow and steady wins the race. Don't go from flat to 120 millimeter. It will end up putting you off heels for life or almost for life. And the fourth tip, I think, I'm not sure I'm following in again, is what's the fourth tip? Oh yeah, the fourth tip is when you have bought the shoe, break it in before the day you're going to wear it out. So walk around the house with the shoe, Do things in the house with the shoe. Aim to wear the shoe for at least an hour in the house. Set a timer if you have to. Just doing things around, it will help you, because my theory is if you can last an hour in your house wearing a certain shoe, you can last 2 hours outside with it. That is my theory, and it does work for me. So practice, practice, practice inside the house before you wear it out. And on the day you're going to wear it out, this is optional. I don't always do this, but it helps to moisturize your feet more than normal for that day, because that moisture helps to um reduce friction between your feet and the shoe. I know this tip helped me on a flat shoe. There was a flat shoe I bought, a Sophia Webster flat shoe. That shoe was a very uncomfortable shoe at the breaking period. Now it is very comfortable, but how I managed to break it in over the three days it took me to break it in was to moisturize my feet with extra like cream, lathered my feet with it and wore it, and that way I never ended up with a blister on my feet throughout the breaking period. So I applied this tip with a flat shoe. However, you can use it on a heel as well. It helps to make your feet a little bit more comfortable in the shoe, but be careful not to apply too much, because with heels, if it's too much, your feet is going to be sliding into it, because your feet is already like this. So if your feet is quite slippery, it's going to make it's going to make for a very uncomfortable shoe anyway. So a little bit of moisture. So these are my 4 tips for shoe beginners, my 4 shoe tips for high heel beginners or flats as well, that will help make your shoes a little bit more comfortable and will help you love wearing heels, or at least, yeah. Thanks for watching. Bye.